Hello, and this is a video for SCCM 2012 or 2 where we are trying to configure and test the migration of Windows 7 client to Windows 8 client. So the overall plan is to migrate all the user settings on Windows 7 to Windows 8 over the network. So it's two separate machines, and there are many requirements for that. But for any requirement in any other lab as well, for SCCM 2012, we first need to always check these prerequisites. If the lab requires PXE environment, so in that case we have to do all these checklist we have to go through, and all the points we have to follow. So I'm just gonna follow this quickly for this video. I'm just gonna follow this checklist to make sure all these settings are done, and we can use this video anywhere else where SCCM lab is involved with inclusion of PXE environment. So I'm just gonna double check this if on our SCCM machine all these points. So I'm going to go and put this slide to my other screen so we could see our VMware environment. So I'm just gonna drag it to the other screen. Well, you won't be able to see that. So this is our SCCM environment. I have a Win controller, an SCCM server, and 2 Windows 7 machines. So on the SCCM server, what I am checking is first that I have 2 network cards. So I'm just gonna make sure that the second network card which I had added actually for internet connection only in this virtual environment is either not there at all or is disabled. If you have it, don't remove it, just disable it. And if you don't have it, it's okay. So disable the second NIC so it does not creates hurdle between when the client is communicating with the server, SCCM server. So second thing is that we need to make sure that PXE is configured on the distribution point. So I'm just going to go for this, make sure PXE is configured on DP. So let's check. I have pinned this SCCM dashboard / console to my taskbar, and here we go, it opens. And what I am trying to do is I'm just going to make this a full screen here. And okay, so what we're trying to do is to check if PXE option is enabled. So I'm just going to administration and then going to the site and to the servers and site system rules, and then all the rules come they appear when we click this, and there's the distribution point. I'm going to right click that and go to properties, and the next tab is PXE, and it's not enabled, so I'm just going to enable that. The message comes that's going to listen on these ports. The PXE requests the empty machines when they are looking for operating system, IP address and operating system. So they'll be looking at communicating on these ports, and selected for operating system installations, it will be this port. So let's press yes on that. Allow distribution point to respond to incoming VC request. Yes, we should enable that. Then it will start listening to all the empty machines asking for an operating system. And enable unknown computer support. Yes. So yes, we want to support unknown computers as long as we know that they are in our environment. And I'm just gonna give a password here as well. So you know, when the PXE installation, so the empty machines get the operating system and they're about to start, it should be they should be asked for a password for extra security. And so after doing all these, let's click apply. Okay, so our PXE option is enabled. And then out of the sequence, now I'm going to check the both boot images if they are distributed to the DP distribution point. If yes, then I'll still do the update distribution for both. If not, then I'm going to distribute them. So let's go to our let's go to software library and then go to operating system and then go to boot images. Okay, x64 and x86 both are showing gray circle here. Let me check if I have operating system images or any operating system image here. So that would be, let me drag my slide here. So it's a bit out of sequence, the slide. I should have first this operating system install.vim file there, and the operating system, the whole operating system itself shared on a shared folder, either on SCCM or Twin controller. And from there, the install.vim file should be there added. So the SCCM should have all the installation files of this operating system to be applied anywhere. So let me first configure this to add an operating system install.vim image. So in order to add an operating system, what we need to do is I'm going to go and mount the Windows 8.1 ISO file to my SCCM server here. So I'm right clicking my SCCM server, I'm going to settings, and this is my CD-ROM, DVD, CD. So I'm just going to mount this to my CD-ROM, making sure that connected is also clicked. Click browse, and so I'm just gonna go to my software folder, which is my second drive actually, and to my okay, it's not there. Let me pause and check where I put that. Okay, so I have added or given the path for the Windows 8, which I'm showing again here. So this is the enterprise board here. So this is Windows 8.1 ISO. So I've downloaded that from the Microsoft website with 90 days trial. That's okay here. Windows 8.1 ISO is added to this. And then so it should be connected to the DVD. Yes, it's inside the DVD. It's so before that, I'm just gonna create the local folder, which is already here, the source. I think it's shared as well. So I'm just gonna create an extra folder. If you have already this folder, you don't have to go through all these steps. Just double check along with me if you have Windows Windows 8.1 are already showing. So deployment, and I'm just going to create another folder called Windows 8.1. And inside this I'm just going to be putting the whole extracted operating system of Windows 8.1. So I'm just going to minimize that here, and right click here in File Explorer, open another one, go inside the DVD of Windows 8.1 which was mounted, and select all, right click, copy, minimize, deployment, Windows 8.1, paste in that folder. So we need to have all the installation files on a shared folder in the network. So from there we can add over the network to the operating system images section, install our bin file, and then distribute it to the DB. So it's shared, and the folder has been created in an already shared folder. Let's just copy, minimize, and now I'm just going to go for right click operating systems, island type software library, and then expand it, operating systems, and then operating system images, then add operating system image. Okay, so I need to give the shared path, so backslash and SCCM server 02 is the name of my server, backslash. Now it's showing me all the shared folders. In fact, if you go to this, that source folder that I thought was shared, it is actually not shared. So let me just go there and check. So C drive. So there's a source folder inside which I created that subfolders. So I'm just gonna share that source folder specifically. Well, actually it's everyone I'm sharing to, and click add, and then putting it also as read and write. It's our environment experiment anything. Okay, so source is shared now, and F5 this page, minimize. Does it already show here? Yep, it does. So there you go, source is here now. And then again, what else it shows? Deployment, then backslash again. What else it shows? 8.1 and backslash again. We're looking for the sources folder, and then there are those huge number of files, and the file we are looking for, well, we can browse down. So this is the file we're looking for, install.win. Open that, and there you go, the path is there. Perfect. Okay, next, detects it as this operating system, which is okay. Next, and next, and there you go, it's added here. Close, edit, and there's that blue circle. Oops, sorry, colorblind. Colorblind alert. It's a gray circle. It has to be okay, it has to be green, so that means it should be distributed to the distribution point. So right click here and distribute content. If it was already green, I would have gone to update distribution point, but it's first has to be initially distributed to the distribution point. So click this, next click add distribution point, this select the server that has the distribution point rule installed. That's okay. Next, and the process of loading to the distribution point of all this information has begun. If I click anywhere else and then click back, it should be yellow, which means in progress. So I rather would wait for this to complete. So click anywhere else and then click back. Still in progress, still yellow. Okay, so it's green. I had to wait more, so I paused the video. It takes time. Okay, so next step would be to update the boot images here as well, which is just down there. So 64, I click distribute content and click next, distribution point, same server, next, close. And while this is going on, it's yellow. I'll go to the next one, right click, distribute content, next, click add distribution point. Okay, next, close. So both are being distributed to the distribution point. And so I'm just gonna put the slide back after confirming that both are green. Again the sequence is up and down or dispersed. Okay, so I'm just gonna go for USMT package, which is user state migration tool, which is the main package that contains all the files that are going to be used to migrate user data from one machine to another for a replace migration. So I'm just gonna if you're doing a replace migration or any migration lab, you should make sure that this package is also distributed to the distribution point. So after checking the green for the boot images, I'm going to go for this to distribute this one as well. So if we check back here, yep, okay, both are green, good. So where do I go to check the USMT package? So I'm just going to go way up, application management and packages here. I'm just going to make sure that the SCCM client package is distributed to the distribution point. USMT is also distributed to the distribution point, which is okay. And if you have, since we are here, if you have installed the hotfixes for the SCCM, this is the place, this is the folder, configuration manager updates, and I would check all the updates if they were all distributed to the distribution point, which I did already, and it's a manual process. Okay. So this is these are some of the steps that make us ready for the PXE environment. We can make sure that the Windows 7 devices are showing as yes. So if I go for assets and compliance and go to devices here, and I have two Windows 7 devices here, machines here, Win7 VM01, VM02, and both showing yes, they're both active. Okay, I would want to add some. I want to add some applications here as well. So we could add those applications during the migration task. It's our choice, or for any other purpose if you want to deploy some applications. So for that, software library, we go for that again, this time applications. I want to make sure that I have those MSI files on a shared folder. So I'm still on SCCM machine. I'm gonna go to my C drive of SCCM. I'm gonna go to the software folder, and okay, I'm just going back to the source folder. and I'm creating another subfolder called apps, applications. It's inside a shared folder called source. So I'm going to copy Google Chrome and Foxit Reader as two of the MSI files inside the apps folder, which I got from internet. The Google Chrome MSI file and Foxit Reader MSI file. You just Google it and you'll find both, or any other software that's offering MSI files. So let's just quickly, it's already under the shared folder, so let's just quickly share it. So I'm just going to look for applications, right click, applications, right click, create application. Okay, so when this window appears, exactly I have to give the network shared path of // SCCM server 02 SCCM server, then backslash, go to the source main shared folder, then go to apps, and then I can actually browse from here, and apps now, so I'll just add Google Chrome, and there you go, it's added there, .msi, click next. It's going to detect all the information from this application. Okay, there you go. Next. Okay, we can just put more information here, like publisher is Google and many other things, but main thing is it's okay. Next. Okay, so the application package is being created. Okay, so to close here, we have one application here, and go way down, it's gray circle, which means it's not being distributed to the distribution point. So I'm just gonna click distribute content, this application, next. You know the drill by now. Okay, it's in the process. It should be yellow. Okay, it's gonna go green. What I would check also are the firewalls for all operating systems here, all. So I'm just gonna move my domain controller, go to the local server of my domain controller, and okay, and Windows firewall. Even if it says off, still check it. Okay, all firewalls are off on my domain controller. I'll go for SCCM server and firewall, click okay, everything okay. Here, then on Windows 7 machine, go control panel, system and security, Windows firewall, all off. Okay, second Windows 7 machine, start control panel, system and security, Windows firewall. Yep, all the firewalls are off. So I think we're good. We're good to go for any lab that requires PXE setup as well as client communication. Plus, if you don't have images, you can go for and add an image of an operating system unit, and boot images need to be distributed to DP, and if applications aren't there, add an application as well. So you have a full criteria of getting ready to deploy either an operating system or migrate an operating system. Thank you for listening to this video, and let's tune in for our next video. Okay, so it's SCCM 2012 R2 replace migration, and we need to migrate the user settings of Windows 7 machine to a newly installed Windows 8 machine. So the plan is that if there is a Windows 7 machine where the domain user has been logging in and saving his or her documents, then we're going to be migrating over the network those users settings, the folders and my documents on the desktop to Windows 8, which will be newly installed. So it will be a bare metal machine or an empty machine on which we're going to be deploying Windows 8.1, as well as migrating all the user settings from Windows 7. So let's get started with this. Okay, let's start with the checklist, and we're gonna be doing these tasks one by one. So you may have gone through the video I've created just to double check all the components of PXE environment, and for that you could just click on the video. That would just take you to the YouTube video where I've gone through all the steps to make sure that PXE environment is good, all the boot images are updated, and added Windows 8.1 operating system image, the installer.wim, as well as checking rest of the other things that should be, optimizing any PXE oriented lab, like installing OSD. Okay, so now we're just going for checklist and major steps for replace migration. So let's check the first step, which is check the network account and distribution point. So let's double check if that account is there, because we need to avoid that error 7002001 where it asks for authentication of an account which has the privileges to install or deploy the OSD or task sequences. So I'm just going to go to the sites and the administration, then sites, and then go to configure site components, and then go to software distribution, their network access account, and yes, it is there. So double checking that. Then we need to check if state migration point is installed. So we're going to install the state migration point now, which is the shared folder where all the user settings from Windows 7 will be stored, and then later from that same shared folder all those user state settings will be deployed to the newly installed Windows 8.1. So that state migration point could be a file server, or it could be in our case it's gonna be, in our small lab it's gonna be our SCCM server, or it could be a domain controller as well. It's up to you in our small lab. So what are the steps? If I go to that slide, configure the state migration, and these are all the steps in 3 slides here, where it shows how to deploy the state migration point. So I'm just gonna go there and start doing that. I'm gonna go to my SCCM server, and in administration and in servers and site system roles, that's where we come to install any new site system roles. So we're just going to right click this and add site system roles, and we go there, and then we just and then we click next. Okay, let me just make the screen full. Then we click next, and now we don't have a proxy for internet. Next, and there you go. The state migration point is there among all the other roles, so we're going to select that, and then next. Okay, there's that page where it asks where is that folder where the user state data will be located. So if you click the yellow button here, it's asking for a local path actually. So I'm gonna give that path here. So I'm just gonna, on the same SCCM server, I'm gonna go to the C drive, and well, there's a source folder which is already shared. So I'm gonna create a new folder here called state migration point, and so the full path would be this, like c:\source and then state migration point. So I'm just gonna right click and copy this, minimize the folder, and paste it here where it's asking for a path. There you go. Maximum clients can connect 100 clients, maximum free space 100 megabytes. I could just give it 2 gigs, and on big environments it will be much bigger space that we're gonna give for this path. Maybe you're migrating from hundreds of machines, and there would be huge amount of data there, user data that you would be placing in this folder on a third server, and from there it's going to be picked up by the new operating system after migration. Okay, press OK, and for now in our small lab I'm just giving 2 GB. Then it says that specify when to remove the data that is marked for deletion. So when you put the data there, it's not supposed to be there forever. So I would still put there 5 days. If it's a huge environment and you think that user data could really grow fast, you could really keep an eye on this folder, maybe 2 days, 3 days, and whatever data has been migrated and confirmed by the client or the user, you would just delete that data then and there right away to create space for other data that's coming. And that's it. So click next. Toronto boundary group. So we have a boundary group, and it is defining the boundaries, which means that any operating system within the Toronto site is participating in this. So fallback source location for content. Yeah. If we have another server, as an alternate, if the main server fails, state migration point fails, then secondary state migration point could be active. But in our case, we just have one state migration point server. Next, and next, and close. So we have configured the state migration point by creating a folder, local folder, and it's going to save all the settings here. Now we would then try to go for the next point, which would be in the slide. Okay, so state migration point is installed. What I did not mention, okay, it's way ahead. I was gonna create domain users, or if they're already created, I would just log in and create some custom environment for the user. But anyway, let's go for check if 2 task sequences are created. So we need to create two task sequences. If I go to the slide which shows that, so it's task sequences. First task sequence will make sure that the user state data from the Windows 7 machine is backed up to the state migration point folder. And the second task sequence will be responsible that all that data that is saved in the state migration point is copied to the new operating system, Windows 8.1 in our case. So task sequence number 1 and number 2, we're going to create both of these now. So I'm just going to go for the first task sequence. This is the name we're going to give to the first task sequence. Let's go there and come back for copying it. Okay, so I'm going to go for the software library. Then while I'm here, I will just make sure everything is, so operating system images, circles showing green, so it has been updated or applied to distribution point. Boot images, green and green, so yep, updated to distribution point. Okay, task sequences, I already created two, so just gonna delete them. That was okay. Now let's create our task sequence. So the first task sequence is just responsible for copying the whole data. So right click task sequence, create task sequence, and we're gonna go for create a new custom task sequence. Next, and so the name we need to give it is Windows 7 x64 backup system, because it's going to copy all the user state or user data to this server. Okay, this is the name I pasted here. Then I go to browse to the 64 image. It's an x64 OS. So next, that's it. Well, that's not it. We need to still do the editing here. For that, I'm just gonna go one by one with the configurations that we're going to do to this backup system. So right click this and edit. Go to right click and edit. Then it's an empty task sequence. So we're gonna fill it up with user state, add user state, and then we're gonna add 3 of these, request, state store, and then capture user state, and then release state store. So I'm just gonna click this, and then click add again, user state, capture user state, and I'm gonna click add and user state again, and this time release state store. Okay, so the settings for the request state store would be that capture state from the computer. Yep, we're going to be capturing state from the computer. Then number of retries, try 3 times, and then retry delay, it's 10 seconds. You can just expand that to 60 seconds, give it a little time over the network. And if computer account fails to connect to state store, use the network access account, which we just configured, which we just double checked at the start of this video. So I just changed something, from 10 seconds to 60 seconds, and clicked this option in the request state store. The second one is capture user state. Here it's would it would want to know which user state migration tool we are using. So we're going to click browse here, and there it is. User state migration tool is already showing there. Double click that. Make sure if you are in the packages area, make sure it has been deployed to the distributed to the distribution point. You should, if not, then go there, cancel out everything, go there, right click this in the packages inside the applications management, and then go and right click and distribute content. It must be distributed to the distribution point, right? Press OK. Okay, so what else? Then capture all user profiles by using standard options. We could capture all user profiles. So there may be user, 2 or 3 users have been using that at different times. Their profiles have been cached on the Windows 7 machine. It's going to capture all those profiles. So either this, or we can customize how user profiles are captured. You know what? Let's check it. Keep it checked. So we would be capturing all user profiles by using standard options. And verbose logging is good. That whatever's going on, it will be detailed in the logs. If there was any error, it would be in detail. So we can skip files if it is encrypting file system, come to file system access. So okay, other than that, all the options are okay. Continue if some files cannot be captured. Yeah, we would want to continue. Although there are other settings in some forums that suggest that we go customize how user profiles are captured, and then we just capture some like applications and user settings. Well, while here we're just selecting that, capture the whole thing, whole profile of a user. A profile would contain my documents folder, favorites, and downloads, and all other things, pictures. So, and the release state store, there's nothing to configure here. Capture user state is already configured. Request state store. Okay, so we're done for the first task sequence. Apply. Okay. We're gonna create the second task sequence now, which would be, let's just create it now and create task sequence. This time it's an install existing image. It's like the task sequence we use for deploying bare metal OSD. So, but there will be slight differences here. Install an existing image package. Go next. First, let's just name that according to the slide naming convention we are using. So it's going to be replace system. So it's going to be deploying the operating system as well as applying that or retrieving user state information from the state migration point. So I'm just gonna control V here to put that name there, replace system, and click browse x64. Then image package, click browse, go for 8.1 evaluation, partition, and format the target computer before installing options. Yep, okay. Complete task sequence for use with BitLocker. So uncheck this. Let's not use BitLocker. And yeah, go for the local administrator password, which would be the regular password you're using in the class. And then join a domain. So it should detect my domain, which is SCCM domain.local. Then should the computer should be in the computers OU folder actually, and let's just put it there. you know what, let's I'm just gonna quickly create another OU. Okay, I'm on the Win controller, and I'm already Active Directory and computers is showing there. So I'm gonna write the domain name inside the Active Directory, users and computers, new, and there's the organizational unit, and I'll just put the name lab and create a new OU here. Okay, it's created. Right click the domain, refresh. Okay, then go to the SCCM, and does it detect the new one? Okay, lab is there now. So I'm just gonna change it from computers to an OU called lab. Yep, there it is. Okay, set, browse. So this is asking who's the privileged user here. So I'm just gonna put admin, click check name. It's gonna check the name. Press OK. Go for password for the domain administrator account. And then we're gonna do a test connection, and successful. Okay, so yes, the administrator password is okay. Press OK here and click next. This is the SCCM client, and it's already selected, which is okay. Next. We're not gonna use this setting, capture setting, user state migration setting in this task sequence, because the first task sequence is responsible for capturing the whole thing and putting it on the state migration point. The second task sequence, we're going to be making some changes later. Okay, next. No, include software updates, not now. All Windows updates, like, you know, security updates, cumulative updates, etc. Next, if there is any application, I did put Google Chrome, so I'm just gonna go there, and there it is, Google Chrome. You don't have to install if you don't have an application. It's not compulsory. I'm just adding it. Okay, next. Done. So close. Second task sequence is ready, but we still need to do some more changes here to add some more stuff there. So we're gonna be adding the same three things. Right click the replace, click edit. Here now we see the whole task sequence. So we're going to be clicking add, we're going to be clicking user state, we're going to be clicking the request user state storage. Then okay, it came here, user state storage, but it should be the last one, so I'm just going to take it down and put it as the last one. Also user state store again, and capture user files and settings. So second one, it's going automatically under that, and third one is release user state. Okay, so we just click this, just like we clicked before. The first one, we're gonna go for request state store, and this time the settings definitely are a bit different. So it will be the other option, restore state from another computer, which you know, obviously means that get the settings from the state migration point from the user. And then there is a number of retries, 3, and retry delay in seconds is still 10. We're not going to put it on 60. So for retrieving the user state from Windows 7, we put it 60, but here the delay for retrying again in case of some error is 10 seconds. Okay, one is this, and so replace system, there's a request state store, then there's restore user state and release state. Okay, so starting in 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's right click this task sequence, and we're going to click edit here. So we're going to be making those changes now. So again, going to the user state, but this time we're going to select one different. First one is the same, request state store, and it's selected on the top, so we're going to actually put it down as well here on the last. Then we're going to be selecting the other restore user state. Remember last time we selected capture, now it's restore time, so you restore user state, which just comes right beside that below there. And then there's the release state store. Okay, all three are there and at the right place. Then we go for the first one, and so this time it's going to be restore state from another computer, and number of retries and retry delay is okay. For the request state store, then we're going for restore user states, the second one, and there. Okay, so we're gonna be selecting, clicking browse, of course we're gonna go for USMT there automatically, and second thing is restore all captured user profiles with standard options. That's what we selected there, to copy all the user profiles, and so obviously we should be selecting restore all captured user profiles, and the rest is continue if some files cannot be restored. Yes, that's okay. And then we go for release state store. Nothing to configure here, so click apply, and okay, the two task sequences are ready. We need to have two collections as well, so I'm just going to go back to the slides and keep going. So there are two collections here. We will need to create two, one for the source computer and one for the destination computer. Destination computer is a bare metal one, so MAC address has to be added. So I'm going to import that MAC address, although I have already done that, but just to show here, I'm just going to delete the old one and just add another one, or the same one again. Okay, so going to create one collection by the name of replace source computers, and I'm going to add there one Windows 7 machine from where the user state changes user state folders, it could be copied, and then there will be another collection by the name of replace destination computers, where the bare metal computer will be added, which later will be deployed with Windows 8.1 and the user state configuration that has been migrated from Windows 7. So let's create the first collection by the name of replace source computers. Let me just copy this now, replace source computer, and copy. So when I'm creating collections, I'll just paste it there. Okay, going to SCCM, going to assets and compliance, and going to device collection. So right click the device collection, create device collection, and there's the name it's asking. Right click and paste. Replace dash source computers is the name for the first collection. Limiting collection, click browse, go to all systems. From within all systems, I'm going to choose one. So next, and then in order to choose which one of the Windows 7 I want to add in this collection, I'll just click add rule, then click direct rule, and then next. Here, yes, it will be an operating system, and then by name just show me all the names you have for the operating systems, and I'll choose whichever I want. And down there the value will be %. the string value. Okay, next, it's showing all the systems. I'm just gonna go for Win7 VM01 and click next and next and close. And so through the direct rule, I've added one virtual machine, which is Windows 7, already working, and it's added to my collection. So next and next, close. What I would want to see here after doing this, that the member count should not be 0, it should be 1, because there's one member here, right? So right click and that collection and go for update membership. Press yes. There you go. Number 1 is there. Okay, going for this second collection, but before creating a second collection, I need to have that bare metal machine, you know, the empty operating system, and then I will be installing the Windows 8.1 through the task sequence, but I need to add that bare metal machine first in the devices. Since it's going to be Windows 8.1, so I'm just going to be adding there. So let me just delete that and redo this. So a bare metal machine that will be hosting Windows 8.1. For that, first I need to go to VMware Workstation, Home, create a new virtual machine here, click Next. I'll install the operating system later. Next, Windows 8, x64. Next, and Win8 VM02, which I'm choosing because I already have VM01 created, right? Your case, you can choose Win8 VM01. In my case, I'm choosing VM02. It's up to you. Next. Okay, 60 gigs, yeah, split, no problem. What I want to customize here is that because my all other machines are on network adapter setting of VMnet 12, so I'm just gonna put it on 12 as well, so they can communicate. Close. In your case, if other VM machines are NAT or host only, put this on the same network settings. Click finish, and click power on that bare metal machine. Okay, so it's gonna be showing, yeah, there it is, the MAC address, and I need that MAC address, so I'm going to be opening the notepad. So it's 00C 29 96 B3 5A. Okay, let me go back to SCCM. I'll put this number on my second screen, side by side. Two screens are always very, very beneficial. Now I need to add this. So, let's add this. Right click the devices, import computer information, import single computer. Next, computer name, what we gave there, Win8 VM02. That's what I gave there. Okay, so looking at my other screen where the notepad is open, 00 and 0C, then 29 96 B3 5A. Okay, click next. There's that option here, optionally create a computer association by entering the name of a reference computer from which the user state migration settings will be migrated to the new computer. In our case, we have that you know, association. We have that computer already. So although we can define here, or we can tell here that this bare metal machine, that uh, there will be data from that source Windows 7 machine that's going to migrate to you, but we're not going to define it here. There's another place to define that. So for now, what we have written is okay, and let's go next. There we go, with MAC address and machine name. It's a bare metal empty machine. Next. And then add new computers only to the all systems collection, add computers to the following collection. If I had already created a collection, I would add it here. Does it allow me to create a collection from here? Nope. Okay, that would have been beneficial. Okay, next. For now, I'm just throwing it in all systems. Next, close. So it will be, should be added. Yeah, there it is. So I'm gonna create another collection, and then I'm gonna add this bare metal machine inside that collection. So right click, create device. So right click in the device collections, create device collection. And what name we need to give here? The other collection name, which is in the slide, replace destination computers, copy, and limiting collection, click browse. Limiting collection is all systems, and then next, then we go for add rule. You know what? So it is okay, and add rule, direct rule, and from the direct rule, click next. Yes, computer system by name, search for that, and percent string would be there. So give me everything. Click next, and by now it has not been added here, which is not good. Click next and go for direct route. Since it's not showing by name, it's still it's an unknown computer actually. Actually, it's known computer, not unknown. It was unknown, but now it is known. It is not active. And what do I choose now? Let's go down. Okay, that was already there. By this time, it would have been detected. Maybe I started too soon. Okay, so I paused the video and just refreshed the devices area here, and then came back with the same name and put the direct rule there, and system resource, the defaults were there, just I put percent here next, and it's there. So I just need to refresh the console, that's all. It can be detected by the same way, same method. So I select the Win8, which is a bare metal machine. Next, close, and it has been added to this collection. Then next, and close. So device collection has one destination computer, one source computer. So destination computer member count should not be 0. So I'm just gonna put that update membership by right clicking and going there, and there you go. There's one member count here as well. Okay, what's next is computer association, most crucial part. So both computers should know they're working together as a team. So the first computer and second computer, they should be the computer association has to be done. So the source and computer, destination computer would know each other, and that's how it will be. The migration would be able to take place. if the computer association between the source and target has been done. Let's go do that and know what it is. So still in assets and compliance, I am under the device collections. There's user state migration here. Right click this and create computer association. It simply asks what is the source computer and what is the destination computer. If we search so nothing comes up. So if I go to browse and all the collections are shown here, I would go for source computer collection, press OK, and then click search. There you go. What's inside the collection is showing, which is the source computer. So double click this, select it. Okay, click search for destination computer now. Same way, I'm gonna go for browse and select the destination computer collection, press OK, and then click search. And there you go. Click OK. One thing is that source and computer destination has been mentioned here. Second thing is the user account, without which it's not gonna let you go out of this window. User accounts to migrate. Capture and restore specified user accounts, or capture and restore all user accounts. We're going to go for all user accounts. I'm selecting, but if I had selected the specified ones, I would have then specified by adding from here yellow button which exact domain user is using that particular computer. In our case, we're just going for the general one. Capture and restore all user accounts. Okay, apply, press OK. The computer association has been created. What does the slide say next? Computer association steps, and then how it all works slide. So what I'm going to do is, that's a suggestion from a forum. What we're going to do is we're going to run the first, execute the first task sequence. We're going to deploy it to the first collection, and then we're going to deploy this when it is done. Then we're going to deploy the second task sequence on the second collection. There could be some errors, and we're going to go through those errors in the same video. Okay, so let's get back to this. I'm going to go for software library, and task sequence number 1 is the backup system. I need to deploy it to the Windows 7 machine, but before that I need to go to the Windows 7 machine. I think it was VM02 or 1. So I'm going to check there in the collection. Oh yeah, it was 1. So it's source machine, show members, right click, show members, and there you go, it's VM01. So just gonna go for VM01 and close all those screens and maximize this. So I'm logged in from administrator. I want to log in from simple domain user accounts and create some folders and files. So I'm just gonna go for the domain controller and make sure that do I have a domain account already created? Yeah, there's an account called Tor user 01. It's a domain user account. Double click that and member of just domain users, so it's just a user, no higher privileges. I'm just gonna go back to Windows 7 machine. It's logging from administrator, so I'm just gonna log out from administrator and then log in from Tor user 01 and the passwords. So I'm just putting there are some folders I created already. So if I click some folder and go to pictures and put some pictures from outside here in the pictures folder and create some more, bitmap image, new bitmap image 2. Okay, and so many folders here in the desktop, in the pictures, in the documents. There are supposed to be some, so I'm just gonna create random folders. Test 1, test 2 in the downloads folder. I don't want to put something heavy, but still we can put something, so like WinRAR, Google Chrome setup, and whatever other file, Office 365, Avast, antivirus, and copy. So on downloads, I'm putting some files here. So random exe files. Okay. So documents has something, pictures has something, downloads have some files, and desktop has lots of random folders. I think that's good enough to populate a Tor user 01. This is it. So I'm just gonna log off and log in again. So the task sequence, I'm gonna log in again from administrator. So the task sequence could run, and I could actually monitor if the task sequence is running or not, just for our lab purposes. So SCCM to name /administrator and my password. Okay, so the user settings are there, and we did put in the task sequence that save all the user profiles. So there is administrator profile, and there's Tor user 01 profile in that Windows 7 machine. So this is the backup system, and let's check it out. So right click the backup system and then click deploy, and it's asking which collection. Of course we have the source computer, replace source computer, press OK, and next. Required, well, we can choose the PIXE here. Next, click new, assign immediately after this event as slow as possible, press OK. Next, this page, software installation and system restart, I've selected. Next, nothing here on the next page. Next, nothing here on this page, and finally next, and close. So the backup system task sequence has been deployed on this collection. On the VM01, I'm going to trigger that right now. First, I'm going to system and security and quickly checking the Windows firewall. If it is not on, it's not. Okay, going back to system and security and going down to configuration manager. You know how to trigger this. Go to actions and then click machine policy retrieval and evaluation cycle. So run now, and it starts after this. It's supposed to start sometimes quickly, sometimes takes a bit more time. In order to see some progress, although the pop-up shows here on this area, but I'll go and open the software center. Software. There we go. That's the software center from configuration manager. Which is also taking time. And well, there's the software manager. Nothing yet. Minimize. I could trigger it once more. Configuration manager, going to actions, machine policy retrieval, click run now, press OK, and okay, there you go. It has begun. So finish that. It's the first task sequence. Capture user state. It's scan computer files and settings. So it's scanning, collecting files and settings for this computer. So installed. It has run, and in order to check, okay, installation complete, the software installed. Well, there was no installation actually, but the operation overall was successful. That's what the message is saying. This means the settings of the user, or all the profiles of the user, must have been copied to the state migration point on SCCM server. Let's go check the SCCM server there. We did create a local folder in C drive, in source, and in state migration point. It has a 32 megabyte of information, which it was empty before, right? So double click this. Migration status, there's a folder there, and then there's a USMT with .make file there, USMT.make file, which is 32 megabyte. Okay, it makes sense. That's how much the software size should have been, because those were small utilities, which I copied there. Okay, so first task sequence is done. So the second task sequence would be, so I minimize this. This is the second task sequence, and it's supposed to be deployed on the second collection, which is an empty machine. So that empty machine is supposed to deploy Windows 8.1. This task sequence is supposed to deploy Windows 8.1 on that empty machine, as well as migrate the user task sequence, right? And if there are any errors, we're just gonna try to fight it out, try to know the solution. Okay, so we're launching the second task sequence. Deploy, right click and deploy. Collection is the destination one, and press OK. Next. Required, definitely a PIXY one. Next. New, immediately as soon as possible. Yep. Press OK. Next. Software installation, system restart if required. Next. Nothing here on this screen, and not on this screen, and next, finally, and the final next. Close. Okay, this has been, so let me just try to see if there's a refresh button here. Refresh, go to Windows 8 and start that. It should be picking up that. Okay, and should be stopping at Okay. Should we start being asking for the task sequence password? You know what? Oh, this is the 01 machine, sorry. That's the previous machine. Alright. And out you go. This is the 02 machine. Sorry. Okay. So 02 machine and send all control delete. It's starting again. That's the machine that's supposed to have this. Okay, it started. And downloading the image file. From 100.2, which is our SCCM server IP. Normally it's a very long deployment. So I'm gonna take coffee or something. And I don't need to do a commentary here. I could just, put myself on mute and just watch the show wherever it stops or whatever it does. There are different stages, yes, but I need to still put the task sequence password. So I would be waiting for that at least. The rest should be, rest of the whole procedure, if no errors are coming, the rest of the procedure is automated. It's supposed to stop there. I should have removed that password on the distribution point PIGZ setting, but I did not. I should have done that, so it should have been completely automated. Next. Okay. Task sequence will start automatically in 12, 11, 10 seconds. I'm so much tempted to click next, but then, there is that, fingers crossed that, oh, if I touch, something happens, kind of thing. So, okay. I'll put the things on mute now, because it's a long process, quite long process. Okay. Putting audio on mute and sit back and enjoy the show. If you're following that, your lab should be working according to this one. I hope everything goes well. Okay, so it's going for the first restart and it's gonna continue the deployment. Okay, so there's an error, and that needs to be resolved, and it's 0800 7000E. Okay, so we'll try to resolve it and add it to the video. Okay, after getting that error, still it went to finalize settings. I thought I had to, you know, just go back and restart the whole thing. Well, it actually went to the login screen. Let's check it out. We could log in from administrator accounts, SCCM domain /administrator. Now if we put the password. So I'm logging in. Right after that error, I clicked finish to that error screen. It just went on with this option to log in. So I logged in with the domain administrator, and something's going on right now, and let's see what's the result. Suppose the machine is deployed successfully, which it seems it is, and it has been joined to the domain as well. So the bare metal OSD is successful, seems like that. But did it, put all the user state settings there or not? Did it migrate it, the user state setting? That is the question. Now it's gonna go through all that thing. So I did put the pause to that video and this video and try to know the solution for that error. So okay, it's installed. I can check the users area if that user profile was migrated or not, and no, so user state migration did not happen. Okay. Because of that error, I think the user state migration did not happen, which is not good, so we need to try again. But if you were trying this, you could check and let me know if it worked for you and that error did not come to you. And let me know. I'm just gonna try that again, and why that error came, I have to still resolve that error, and I'm gonna upload that video next to this one, or you could try for now till here with all those settings, and I'm gonna just edit this video with the solution.